In this video, we're hitting the road, heading to one of the most remote areas in the US, the Alvord Desert. To explore this beautiful, desolate area of Oregon, we're joined by filmmaker Andy Mazur and drone pilot Alex Emberlin, alongside the DJI Mavic Air 2. Follow along as we go behind the scenes of a road trip film production.
My name is Andy Mazur and I am a filmmaker. I make documentaries, I make commercials, and everything in between.
Perfect.
Today we are working on a bit of a hybrid documentary narrative personal project. Batiste and Brooklyn, like the rest of us, have been cooped up in their houses for months from the COVID quarantine, and they wanted to escape. And they decided they wanted to go on a road trip to the Alvord Desert, and that seemed like a perfect excuse to make a film. The Alvord Desert is the most remote part of Oregon. It's a super cool landscape visually. It's windy and it's dry and it's vast and expansive. The film industry is essentially shut down, and so there are a lot of very talented people with incredibly high-end equipment sitting around wanting to do fun things. The car that they have, it's this matte black 1979 Pontiac Trans Am, big gold eagle on the hood, straight out of Smokey and the Bandit. We started at Batiste and Brooklyn's house.
Getting the packing up onto the road, cruising through the city, and then up to the mountains and then hitting the high desert.
Okay, Brooklyn, if you look in your mirror, you'll see this. We are following the car through downtown Portland right now, establishing the beginning of our journey. Wow, getting a feel for the Cineflex system, that is so cool.
We wanted the first scene to be leaving the city, to feel urban. Crossing one of the iconic bridges of Portland.
And I think I'll start high and then come low and bring them into frame. Right? Yeah.
So one of the ways that's helped us capture the story has been drones, specifically the Mavic Air 2.
This is my newest drone in my arsenal, and it can fit right here. Ready to fly.
Alex Emberlin is a friend of mine and a very talented drone pilot.
Aerial cinematography is basically like special forces, all the B-roll and the fill stuff and the pretty stuff.
Our primary drone is the Inspire 2, and of course that shoots incredibly high quality imagery. But we're also using the Air 2, and that has its own distinct purpose. What I really like about the Air 2 is that it's quick and easy to deploy. In just less than a minute, you can unfold the arms, pop a battery in, boot it up, and get it in the air.
It's really cool that this cord fits back into the controller, just fits right in there. Boom.
One really cool thing about Oregon is we have all of these really distinct environments. So we can start in the city, and then move to the forest and the mountains, and then move to the desert, and really cover a lot of different scenes and cover a lot of different grounds.
Take off.
So I got the Mavic Air 2 up in the air, and we're gonna get some behind the scenes of our picture car and our pursuit car. And I'm going to be cutting through a gap of trees.
It's a very sporty drone. We can fly it fast, we can fly it low, we can take risks with it that we maybe wouldn't take with the Inspire 2.
That was insane. Did you see that?
Landing.
The COVID pandemic has required us to completely rethink production. Every single day we're moving, we're based out of vehicles, we're camping every single night. No hotels, there are no interior shots happening. Entirely self-sufficient, we're cooking our own meals, we're charging our batteries in the field, living and working out of vans. That's a complicated way to do production. This is an opportunity for us to learn how to do production in this new way in a low-stress environment.
30-minute flight time, nothing better. We're gonna capture a little bit of the caravan of the crew that's heading to the location. This new remote has been simplified. They took a few of the buttons off that you accidentally would hit all the time. There's also no antennas on this controller. They actually built them into the controller, which is a new thing. And I really like it. There's nothing like sticking off that's wobbly or, it's great.
Mavic Air 2 handled the heavy winds pretty well. There was about a 15 to 20 mile an hour headwind and didn't waver at all.
So we've crossed 3 different landscapes now. Getting a sense of place is sort of key to that, and using drones is exactly the best possible way to get that sense of place. Get the camera up in the air.
Ready for the day.
Drift too much on it. They were supposed to pull a little bit forward and we hit the back of it.
Van was gonna be moving, the car was gonna drift around a corner, we were gonna pass. It didn't quite work out that way, we just barely kissed each other. They just nudged the camera.
So my background in film is documentary. It's inherently spontaneous. Following characters and just sort of capturing things as they happen.
You just can't pass that post office up as a location. We have to shoot something. Classic Americana.
This is what we call the drone dance. Anytime you change latitude on the Earth, you must calibrate because your true north will always change.
I like to use the drone just as a whole nother camera, and sometimes that means that I'm flying the drone a foot off the ground and it looks like another gimbal shot, but then I can jib into a 100-foot tracking shot from that.
We gotta go.
Sometimes things happen quickly. Sunset is one of those times when things happen very quickly and you only get one shot.
Nice, guys.
HDR mode is unbelievable because it is able to capture the shadows and the highlights. DJI has now changed the game yet again. Let's roll out.
That was awesome though, that was gorgeous. Wow. That was a beautiful scene. We arrived at the Alvord middle of the night. It was one of those scenes where you kind of pull in and camp, you don't know where you are, and then you wake up and then you realize that you're in the middle of the desert. The plan now is to film the car tearing around this vast expanse every which way.
Gotta charge all the batteries because I didn't charge last night. No, I'm just kidding. This is the perfect place to fly drones because there's not a tree in sight. I can just pick off shots all day, and it's so nice because there's no focus on this drone. Everything is in focus, so it's just super easy for me to just get exposure, start tracking the subject, and start, peppering in those nice wide aerials into our production. 240 frames per second slow-mo with 90-degree top-down shot. We were focusing on the dust that's going to be flying around it. It's also quiet enough that I'm not distracting Andy when he's actually shooting a scene. I can sit far enough away, it's not going to annoy him. We're going to be doing some Active Track 3.0 testing. We have a wonderful subject on a dirt bike. Select the subject here on my screen, and then you can select a speed. I'm going to go ahead and select fast and let her rip. Sit back and hang out and let the drone do some of the work.
We don't have clients or anybody really looking over our shoulders, so we can really just push it creatively to the edge and find the edge and go beyond it.
About to do a 48 megapixel hyperlapse, and thanks to the 30-minute battery life, we're gonna be able to go almost till sunset. 8K hyperlapse has been commenced, and we did a course lock. It's going to be 18 minutes long, and there'll be 550 photos.
That's real nice.
Flying the Mavic Air 2 has been just a blast. How small it is and how refined the actual craft is. I can pull off shots that I have never been able to pull off on single operator.
Really like this drone. It feels really good to get out here and start creating and making and coming correct and bringing all of the right tools to a shoot like this is super crucial.
It's fun to be out here with our friends making stuff in this really cool place.
Getting this many people together would cost us, you know, tens of thousands of dollars a day just to pay everybody to be here because everybody's busy. But now people are willing to just come out and play. It's really cool. This never happens. It feels like a bright side to this whole quarantine moment that we're in right now.
For DPReview, I'm Barney Britton. Thanks for watching.